begin the presentation today, I want to make this as interactive as possible. So please use the chat box or Q&A box. Post your comments and questions, and as we go through the presentation, if you have a specific question, I will try to address it as we go through it. That way we can share information with everyone, and we keep this as interactive and engaging as possible. The subject is creative and innovative change leadership, and basically the idea behind this is that statistically, and if you can look this up in various sources, but statistically, only about 29% of change initiatives that are created by organizations and corporations, only about 29% actually have successful outcomes and impact their strategic plans. So we have some issues there, and we want to examine some of those issues and maybe take a look at different ways in which we can manage change. And change is something that is not a stranger to project managers, that you're dealing with change all the time, at least at the project level. And I think some of the principles that we use for change management at the project level should really be used at the organizational level to help us manage change more effectively. And I think everybody here knows a little bit about scope creep and something called creeping elegance, which is adding more to the scope in terms of perfection and gold plating than is necessary. And if we take some of these ideas about change and we focus on how we can use that to have a better overall change within an organization through processes and communications and some procedures and get everybody to buy in, that we'd be a lot more successful. So the objectives, what we're going to talk about here would be hopefully the idea is for you to develop a personal strategy for enhancing your own change readiness and the change readiness of your particular teams. That will provide you with some ideas that will help you to lead and manage change a lot more effectively. And we're not talking about project management change here. We're talking about organizational change. We're talking about doing things differently, changing how we provide value to our customers and to our team members and to ourselves. So we want to be able to lead and manage change and do that very willingly and be excited about it. That there are different types of changes out there, and we're going to have to adapt to them. And I think that a lot of people may not understand that change is a word that is kind of like an umbrella term for multiple types of changes, and we'll address that a little bit. And then there are mistakes that people make when it comes to change, and by the way, there's no such thing as a mistake-proof change. We're all human. We're going to make some errors, but there are some things that we can probably avoid. One of the things that I like to say about change management is it has a lot of similarities, a lot of relationship to risk management, that we should really be asking a lot of what-if questions, and we should actually focus on scenarios before we select our options and things like that. So there's just some thoughts to think about as we get started. Now, ones that I like to do here is just to promote project managers just a little bit. Just this past Thursday, November 2nd, was International Project Management Day, which is something that we basically observe every year. It's the first Thursday of November every year, International Project Management Day. And my quote, I created this as a recognition for project managers, is that the value of project management can be seen in any skyline. And it really is project managers who are really making the changes around the world. The way your cityscapes, your skylines, your landscapes are changing, the way we do business, the new smartphones that keep coming out, the way we communicate, our infrastructure, vehicles, electronic devices, you name it. Everything is done through a project and a project manager. And to quote something that was told to me a long time ago, every project is a change, and every change is a project. And I think that the important thing here is to you yourselves as project managers should do your best to get people to understand the value that you bring to your organizations and to your customers. So that's the idea behind this quote and International Project Management Day. And if you think about it, I'm from New York City, of course, but look at any skyline, no matter where you happen to be in the world, whatever city you have to be in, if you look at that skyline, you will see that that was the result of project managers and project teams doing things that are changing and evolving and making improvements and enhancing the way we live. So those are things that we need to consider about being a project manager. Now, we need to look at here would be this particular slide. And if you look at the slide, you'll notice there's something unique about it. And if you have any comments or questions or observations, please post them so I can take a look. But you'll notice that the G and the E are very clear, they're very crisp. But if you look further back, you will see that the C and the H and the A are actually a little bit fuzzy. And the message here is that, you know, as we look further and further into the future, the changes that we can expect or that we're attempting to implement are going to be a little bit fuzzy. They're not going to be clear. We don't have all the facts. But as we get closer, things start to become more clear. In fact, many of you remember a term from your project management studies, which is progressive elaboration, which is defined as moving forward in increments, adding more detail as you go. And in many cases, that's what we're doing with change, that we have some information up front, some details, but as we start to look further and further into the future, we're going to see that it's not that clear, and we're going to have to make some adjustments to our targets and to our objectives. So some things to think about there. Now, one of the things that, well, there's actually a whole list of things that drive change in an organization. And things that you need to look at, if you take a look at some of these items on the list here, the economic conditions. I heard recently, in fact yesterday, from a couple of economic experts that the things are actually looking far better than they have been in a long time in the worldwide economic situation. That's actually good news for project managers because that should mean more jobs. Consumer preferences are constantly changing, and that's something that we have to be aware of, and most organizations are going to have to think about the needs of the consumer. I'd like to say, based on information that I've researched, is that we are in what is known as a customer connection economy. Our organizations need to be very, very connected to our customers to find out what their needs are and what their preferences are and how things are changing, especially as technology changes. Okay? And as the economic conditions change also, we're going to see a lot of impact on that. Of course, there's energy costs.
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.